Hey everyone, it's a little late doing this, but I was busy doing things. But last week, my lessons were old school math. I did a couple lessons, and if you didn't get them, you can scroll down and you can see one on tipping and one on making change. I'm going to switch over to science, and I know you see a horse here, but this is good for anyone because the lesson tonight is going to be how our animal bones are pretty much, many are equal to the same as human bones. Horses are sometimes a little confusing. So, of course, because I'm more used to being around them and teaching them about them, I'm going to do the horse. So this little guy, we figure this is here. Anybody that knows a Breyer horse, this is actually the Breyer of Zenyatta's foal. So you can see I've got things here. But what we're going to do, I'm going to put little Miss Zenyatta's foal away. And this is the ones I study. We're not going to do this with you because I want to keep it nice and simple and more colorful. This is my big anatomy book. Look at the thickness of this book. Horse anatomy. I've got so much here. If you scroll down a little bit on my Facebook page later on or earlier, what I did was I put up a link for the American Quarter Horse. They have a kids activity book. It's 26 pages. If you are going to print it out, I advise you, if you want, you should do back to back. This one over here that I have marked up is the one that I'm going to use today to show you a little lesson about how there is a difference. I keep saying differences. There is. How sometimes the human bones and the horse's bones are related to each other. What you can do, if you want, you can go to page 3. If you download that activity book, on page 3 is this page right here to color, and you can see that I made things. I'm going to go over each one with you. So you can always go back to this and go back with it. Okay, so let's look at the difference with the bones between the two. Horses have 205 bones. Arabians are sometimes short, 1 or 2 with the ribs, but we can say that they have 205 bones, and they stand prone. Prone means just the way this guy is standing with his 4 legs on the floor. Humans have 206 bones. The extra is a collarbone, and horses do not have a collarbone. People say to me, well, how come they don't have a collarbone? How's everything connect? Well, they have muscles that will, in here, they have muscles in here that will connect up to the ribs and around. They just have extra muscles. So horses don't have a collarbone. And people, of course, we walk upright. Okay? So let's take a look at this and let's see how our bones are almost the same as horses and what we call them. Oh, it gets confusing on the bottom, but not at all. I'm going to straighten you out. So this is the skull. Okay, obviously we have a skull too, and with the horses it's called the skull. And this would be this whole section in here. Let's move down a little bit. Some of you that took my equine massage classes, I know my 4-H kids did. This is the scapula. Anybody know what the scapula is? Give you time to think about it. Okay, think about your shoulder. Okay, it's all up in this section here, the scapula. So what you can do is you can go back and you write this in. Oh, the orange. I drew this in. I drew this in from this picture. I just colored it in. I took it and I just colored it in so you could kind of see where the bones are. Of course, they're all split up, obviously, like this. And then I just did it in the back so you could get an idea. So let me go back. Okay, so scapula. All right, arm. So if this is our shoulder, okay, where it comes down, your shoulder, we connect to the humerus bone, and I know about that because some of you that know me know that I shattered my humerus bone back in September, which would have been this section right in here, and on me, I have a rod that now replaced where I shattered. So those of you that know me, you have an idea about the arm and the humerus bone. Note the humerus is spelled this way. That is a U, not like humorous. So that way when I broke my humerus bone, trust me, I was not laughing. So this is basically the horse's arm that's like yours. So this would be like your arm, like, you know, when you make a muscle, okay? That would be like in there. This is where the horse's elbow is, and it's all in green. Everything that's green is the same name as what we humans have. The chest is here. You know the pectoral muscles actually go from here to here. So if you have a horse that's girthy, and girthy means, those of you that don't ride, is when you put the saddle on or a harness and you pull it up a little too tight, it kind of hurts because the chest is your pectoral muscles and it is connected. All right, so that's all your chest, and we call it the chest. This would be this part of the arm. I'm going to show you on here. You see on mine? This would be like this part of the arm, and that is your ulna and your radius, and we call that with us also. So this part here is actually the arm. I know there's a special name for this. It's called carpal bones. So when you see this on your horse, we always call it the knee. I know they're your carpal bones. It's okay that you call it knee. Here's where we switch. This is where it gets a little different. All right? We call this a knee on a horse, but with us, let me color this in here, point to this. That knee is equal to our wrist, like so. Okay? But you probably say, wait a second. The wrist is here. Our fingers are right here. I don't get it. Well, look how long that is. They have it a lot longer to get to their hoof. All right? So, their knee is equal to our wrist. This is where it gets a little funky. People go like, what? I don't get it. Your cannon bone, this is interesting. So when you see the horse's cannon bone that's coming down from the knee, that is equal to us. Except ours is just like so. Theirs is a lot longer. That is equal to, if you take your wrist, look at your wrist, to your first knuckle, there's my knuckle, that is the same as like a cannon bone. So again, your wrist to the first knuckle is like a cannon bone on a horse. It doesn't turn that way. All right? So we really have the same thing. We just call it different. Horse's knee, it's equal to our wrist. That's why when his knee might bother him or her, think of your wrist like hurting. I'm sure when you've played some sports or something, boy, my wrist hurts, that would be like his knee. And then this goes down to here. Now, there's a reason why I have yellow here before I go on. When I do all the massages, all the muscles or stuff, you got this all in here. Muscles, 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 joints, tendons, all that good stuff. Well, sometimes people go, wow, you never, how come you don't I do put my hands down in here. But there's no muscles in here. Here, it's joints and tendons. Joints and tendons hold everything together. I just want you to think of it that way. All right? So there's no. Those of you may know some horses that have suspensory injury. I like that. It's like a tongue twister. Those of you that know Indy, he had his in the back. He blew it. We blew out a suspensory, and that was back in here. It's like a rubber band, and it like really stretched, and he hurt it. He was out for a year, but he was fine. Again, this is not a vet class, so we'll just get into that. So there's for this side. Okay, let's go on this side. Okay, we got some nice bone here, which is equal to this one here. I could pull it in. I pulled it down. You probably didn't realize that these horses and their bones are like ours. You don't realize it. All right, let me switch back to my green. Femur bone. Okay, femur. That's like us, way up there. Think of your quads. How many of you like ran and you do like sprinting and then your quads hurt and you're like, oh my God, I can't walk. Okay, that's like your femur bone. Stifle is a big thing. You horse owners know about stifles. Sometimes stifles are really, really hurt. Sometimes the barrel racing horses, they get twisted up and it hurts and it gets out of a joint. Stifle is equal to our knees. Our knees. And I'll show you on me what I mean. Our knees. So you know when we twist a knee and we're walking all crooked, like, I know I do when I get out of the saddle sometime and I've been in it too long. And it's the same as the stifle. Come down here a little more. Okay, now we're still into the bot from the knee down to our ankle. It's called the tibia bone. We just use tibia. That's a serious bone on us. I know I've mentioned this one to you. We always know when a horse has a problem with his hocks, that's the one that goes out. Okay, you can see here how that goes out. We've talked about that, and the reason why you always say, boy, that horse is, what's a hock? It's equal to our ankle. So it should really be hocks because there's two of them. Whoops, wrong color. This is purple or blue. That isn't okay. So hocks, because there is two back legs, is equal to the ankles. Okay? And then the same as I had mentioned before, your muscles are here. There's no muscles down in here. Now this is interesting. Oh, I put back cannon bones. You know, I'm not going to get hot and heavy with this. I'll do that by I think by 4-H kids, we did that already. We did that. Remember when we were doing the posters and stuff with the hot and heavy stuff? So here, this is the horse's hooves. And they get them trimmed just like we do with our fingernails. So the hoof has the same substances like keratin and things, and it grows like ours does, the hoof, and it's equal to our fingernail. All right, we got to get them. Everybody know their cuticles? Okay, you're going to see it here because my nails need to be done. So let me get it in here. So our nails grow from the cuticle. So you see where my nail polish is hardly there. This is where ours grows from. All right? And it comes from the cuticle. And it comes around. Horses, our cuticles are equal to their coronary band. And sometimes if you trim your horses and you take the little buzzers to them, and sometimes you want to clean this up, that is right by the coronary band. Another tongue twister. Okay, so that's the name is our cuticle. So you could think of all this as your fingernails. Okay, I'm trying to get that in here. There you go. All right. Oh, I wanted to show you with the legs. Okay. Now, I'm not going to confuse you more. I was going to show you how the ankles and this and all that is connected, but I'm not going to bother. So let's just go back over this. This is an interesting little science. We can do this with dogs one day too, but I'd rather just do the one animal and move on to something else with science. So again, horses have roughly 205 bones. This is how they're the same as us. Humans have 206 bones. Horses do not have a collarbone. We walk upright, they walk prone. We both have a skull. There's the scapula. I call it the shoulder. Some of you have seen me massaged, and I get in here and I get right under there. Some of you have seen where I take my hands and I get right on there underneath that scapula, and I really stretch it out good. There's their arm. I'm not even going to get into biceps and triceps. We have that in there. I'm going to keep it simple for you. They have an elbow joint like we do. They have a chest like us. Radius in the ulna. Knee is equal to our wrist. Cannon bone is same as our wrist. Our wrist to our first knuckle. That's the length of that would be. Except we kind of have, we have our joints and stuff that move it also. And then over in here, I got to, what was I putting that up there for? Oh, I know what. I put that P to remind me. That's where the horse's pelvis is, up in here. It's up in this section, like we have, right? We go up, let's just say we really blew out our quadriceps and it really hurts, you know, and that's where the femur is. Femur bone, again, that is where the pelvis would be. Stifle is equal to the knees. Ouchie, that's why they get ouchie. Here's the hocks. There's the tibia. Your ankles. And let's go right down to the hoof and the fingernail. Okay. Let me bring this little guy back. Only because she's cute. This is Zenyatta's. So there it is on the opposite side. Okay, you can actually see, you know, the muscle. This is all like we can see the muscles. There's her ribs in there. Okay, there's her skull. See, when we get into the 4-H in here, this shows her muscles in here. You know, I usually massage and I get in that section, you know, with the arm, okay? And this would come down to, again, her knee, which is pretty much equal to our wrist. So that is your lesson today. I could go on forever. There's not much, you know, for you to do. Those of you that are into the horses, you have this here. You could always stop it. Again, you can learn this. You can print out that workbook from American Quarter Horse and enjoy your schooling. Get it done. Isn't it glad to be home than being in the school? Those you know that I was a teacher for 26 years. And I know how nice it is to be out. You don't have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Blah, I hated that. Okay, well, enjoy my Science with Suzanne, and we'll have something, I'll come up with something for tomorrow with science. See ya.